I've really been enjoying DC animation as of late. They're telling news stories instead of adapting comic books, which I really appreciate. Just read the original comic. And there's a lot of great talent that's come on the scene. And some of that talent is working on this film. So I feel bad saying that I did not care for this particular DC animated movie. It just did not work for me. Not that it doesn't have its moments, but I feel that the story is so spread out that not only was it hard to care about what was happening, like I just wasn't emotionally invested, but also it was just hard to get a good feel for what was happening. I mean, sure, it's World War II, and not everyone makes it out of the movie alive. I always respect when a story does that. You know, it keeps the stakes high, especially in a superhero story, right? You want to feel there are real stakes. But here, I didn't really feel there were any strong stakes. They make a choice that's revealed about, I don't know, halfway through the movie, which I think explained a lot of their story choices, but I do think undercut, again, there being any real stakes to what we were watching. So here's what I did like. I love seeing Wonder Woman in action. She is so great here as a fierce yet elegant warrior. Every single scene she has in this movie is a joy to watch, from fight scenes to dramatic scenes. And I love her 1940s look here. It feels appropriate for the time, but still looks super cool and practical instead of being a 1940s Wonder Woman costume. So I thought that was great. And Stana Katic, clearly modeling her performance on Gal Gadot with the accent, does such a good job. She should voice Wonder Woman going forward in DC animated projects. With all due respect to Rosario Dawson, who had a great run, but she's now moved on to being Ahsoka. Speaking of the 1940s, I do really love the animation style. I thought that was a great choice. And I thought the opening credits for the film are a lot of fun because they're done in the style, and the end credits too. They're done in the style of classic movies that you see on TCM. So that was cute. And a lot of the voice work is excellent. Matt Bomer, always a treat. Chris Diamantopoulos is a fantastic Steve Trevor. I thought, Steve Trevor, I love how that character has evolved thanks to Chris Pine's portrayal in the live action movies. But, in comics and animation, the character has really become able to, I don't know if he stands on his own. He's still Wonder Woman's boyfriend, which he actually says in this movie. But, he's become more of a Lois Lane type character, which is great. I'm so happy for both Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor that's developed. By the way, Diamantopoulos also voices Mickey Mouse in the new cartoons. So I always get a real kick out of that when I see him voicing more serious characters. And I'm really coming around to Darren Criss as Superman. I think he actually does a good job. At first, I wasn't sure if he would be a good choice, but I think he is. But really, the story is the problem here. It just does not work. And I think, to be fair to the people who worked on this movie, it's hard when you're doing a team story because there's just so many, spinning plates. And they tried, but the movie would change gears way too often. Like, it starts out for the first half feeling like a World War II adventure, but then in the third act in particular, it switches, maybe for the whole second half of the movie, you feel like you're watching a modern DC story. So you're like, what happened to all the World War II stuff? So that was I didn't like that. And then also, first it seems like Barry Allen is the lead of the movie. Then he goes back in time and it seems like Wonder Woman is the lead of the movie. And then it keeps switching. And then they kind of lose focus on Wonder Woman. And you're like, I thought we were telling Wonder Woman's story. I mean, they keep trying to put Wonder Woman on other teams. They tried to put her on Justice League Dark. It doesn't really work. I think she's good on Justice League, but I think when you put her with having her on these other teams, JSA and Justice League Dark, it feels like when they stick Batman on these teams, they're like, no one will watch if we don't have one of the Trinity in here. So let's just put them in here. Let's shoehorn them in there. Although I am happy for Wonder Woman that now she's getting shoehorned in. She deserves it. It's what she deserves. But it has, unfortunately, the same drawbacks as when Batman gets shoehorned into a story. And then also, I don't know why Barry Allen needed to go back in time. The story did not need him. They kind of came up with like a reason for it, but it wasn't necessary. And you didn't need two Flashes, which was barely discussed or explored, by the way. I mean, they did a little, but I think someone really needed to say, stop. What is this movie about? And I don't think they would have had a good answer, to be honest with you. You should be able to very succinctly say what the movie's about, and you can't. I mean, I'm sure some of you will be wise guys and try down below. Maybe one of you will surprise me, but please mark spoiler. You don't actually have to because it's the pitch for the film. So what is Justice Society World War II about? I think you'd have a hard time. Especially because this movie says it's a Justice Society of America movie, but it's really trying to be a 1940s Justice League movie because that's the brand that people know. Again, the shoehorn thing. I mean, if you're going to make a JSA movie, just make a JSA movie. Hourman, I don't know why he's in this movie. He has like no scenes. They hardly ever use him. Hawkman, he has a little more to do, and I loved that they had that guy from The Mandalorian voice him, but I like, race bending Hawkman because he's supposed to be an Egyptian character. And they've actually, as we know, cast a black actor for the upcoming Black Adam movie. But I'm glad that was reflected in this animated movie. But he had nothing to do. I mean, those guys shouldn't have been in the movie. Black Canary has a cool moment in the third act, particularly because her hair is so incredibly animated in the wind. I was like, wow, that's well done. But there's no real reason for her to be here either. And I'm still not sold because she's not she doesn't have super strength. So while her canary cry is impressive, I'm still having a little trouble seeing how she could, keep up with all these other superpowered individuals in action sequences like this. Harley Quinn is supposed to be boosted by Poison Ivy, so she is stronger and has more agility. But Black Canary isn't supposed to have those abilities. While she's supposed to be an amazing fighter, like Lady Shiva level, no one can fight like Wonder Woman in this movie. Wonder Woman's fight sequences are so cool and so well animated and so well thought out. Black Canary just can't compete. Even for hardcore DC fans, I'm not sure this is worth purchasing. I would wait to rent it, to be honest with you. It doesn't even have any good extras on it. It doesn't tease any upcoming movies beyond, they have teases for old ones, which I thought was weird, but they have a tease for The Long Halloween that's already been online. And they don't have any behind the scenes stuff for this movie. I mean, I guess they released a pretty long tease with behind the scenes stuff when they first announced it on the last animated movie in their extras, but I wish they'd at least have included it here again. I mean, quite frankly, I was bored watching it. I was bored, especially when Aquaman entered the picture because it just became pretty by the numbers at that point. So that's my review of JSA World War II. I'm curious to hear your thoughts down below. I know some of you really enjoyed it, and that's great, but that's just this is my reasoning for why I did not. And again, it's available for digital purchase right now, and it'll soon be available for a physical copy. All right, again, thank you for going over this with me. Subscribe today, and of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.